to play. We've got stories for your day. From Onefinity, it's clear to see the finest CNC. It's the Cutting Edge Podcast. Let's take a flight with designs and tools.
Welcome, everybody, to
The Cutting Edge Podcast, episode number 16.
Episode number 16.
That's-
And that does not seem like an impressive number because we have been doing this for a little while, but we're busy. We got other stuff. We're very, very busy people.
That's an understatement at this point.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Morgan, and joining us also is
Your other host, I'm Stone.
how you doing, Stone?
I'm good. It's been a long year so far.
And we're only in April.
I know.
We're not even halfway through April, and it's been a year.
I'm ready for things to slow down. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been fast paced, which means things are good, but I'm ready for a little break.
Yeah. So, just to, I guess, add a little bit of context to what Stone just said. Yes, we've been hard at work getting all the stuff that we announced at the end of last year out the door. We got so many orders, so many more than we were expecting, which is a great problem to have. But just because of supply chain constraints and stuff, it's taken a little bit longer than we initially thought that it would take to get that stuff out. But know that we are working hard on that every day to get the stuff, all the open orders that are pending, get that stuff out the door and to your doorstep and in your shops. So, just a little disclaimer there.
Yeah. I mean, I know people have questions because things are back ordered, but just getting them done as quick as we can and getting them out to you guys. We don't want to sit on this stuff any longer than we have to. So
Exactly. So our official position is hold your horses.
Oh boy. But yeah, we've had a lot going on since we did a podcast last. I guess the last time we really sat down and did a podcast was after we took our trip up to Canada. So
yeah, which was super, super fun. And so I made a video for that, like I do for most all the trips that Stone and I take for trade shows. And the thumbnail that I made, I used AI to do it, obviously, because AI is amazing. But it was just me and Stone as Canadian Mounties, and we just looked so sharp. And so in the mail a couple days ago, I just got it. Stone made me a magnet of that picture that I made for our YouTube thumbnail, and it's my new favorite magnet.
Should we add that to our merch page on the website?
Probably.
Magnet?
All the dumb stuff that we've made, we should probably add to our merch page because as silly as it is, people love that stuff.
Maybe we need to start a page dedicated to the dumb things like that.
Yeah, not specifically Onefinity branded, but from the twisted minds of Onefinity's Stone and Morgan, here's an entirely separate line of merchandise. Yeah.
The Willing Hop line.
Was that
the Hopfingham or the
Huffingham?
Willingsburger. That one flows a little better.
Yeah, just rolls right off the tongue.
Oh man!
But anyway, so since we thoroughly went over our trip to Toronto on the last episode, so we don't need to really cover any of that. But since then, we went to Workbench Con, and that is one of the several major events that we go to every year. We're a sponsor and an exhibitor, and have been for what this is our third year at
Yes, this was our third year as Onefinity.
Yes,
you've been a couple of times before that though.
Yeah, so I the first year that I went was 2019, and I've been every year since, except for in 2020 when it was supposed to be in March, but that's right when the pandemic hit, and so they just didn't have it that year. But this would have been my 6th Workbench Con, and I enjoy the heck out of them every time I go.
It's a fun show, and it's a good opportunity to go and meet people that are in the community, that are doing similar things, or um, people that you've seen on the internet, stuff like that. But it's a really cool chance to, like I said, meet people and to learn about working with brands and building your social media presence and things like that. So, if that's something that you are interested in, um, check it out next time it happens. We don't know when that is yet, but they're saying it's going to happen. So,
Yeah, so that's kind of that's kind of the big question surrounding the whole event is going into this year's Workbench Con, there was a lot of uh there was a lot of talk, a lot of chatter about is Workbench Con even still going to be a thing moving forward? A lot of people that normally go didn't go this year. I think that a big reason a lot of them, what I heard from a lot of them was that they don't see the value in it. It's because it's kind of a pricey event. Stone and I are fortunate enough to be able to go with one of the sponsor slash vendors, and so we don't personally have to pay out of pocket to go to it. But there's a lot of people that do, and it can be pricey. Um, so there were a lot of people that opted out this year, just said like, no, I can't swing it. And yeah, that was kind of the big question that was up in the air. Like, is this even still going to be a thing anymore? Is this the last one? So the answer that we got at the end, when sorry, I'm like jumping ahead, but the answer that we got at the end was no, this isn't the last one. It may not be next year, because we have heard your feedback, and we're going to take a break and reevaluate and kind of figure out how to make this the best event that we can make it, so that people can actually afford to go, and that everything about it makes sense to them. So yeah, that's kind of where we left it. So everybody's just kind of up in the air. It's apparently still a thing. We just don't know when, or what it's going to look like. But I am excited that they are. Um, it it's a very good sign. It bodes well that they addressed it. They got out ahead of it, and they said we've heard your feedback, and that they're actively trying to make it better, and they want it to continue. They want people to keep coming to it. um it's just going to take some time to really dial it in. So
yeah.
I'm glad that they're doing that work.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, there was a lot of chatter about what's going on and is it going to happen again and all that stuff. But really, at the end of the day, it does sound like they have, taken the feedback that they've gotten, and they're really taking it to heart and considering it and trying to figure out how they can change things to make it more enjoyable and to make it feel like you're really getting your money's worth. I think that's, people talk about like, oh, just make a better show, but like it's not that simple either. For the
Yeah.
for the people that are actually putting in the work to make the show happen, I mean, this is pretty much a year-long planning thing. It's not just like it happens overnight, and it takes a lot more than one person to do something like that too. So they definitely have their work cut out for them, but I think that the changes that they'll make will definitely be beneficial, I guess, to the community and to the people that attend that show. So anxious to
Yeah.
see how everything turns out.
Yeah, and I mean, just in case anybody has any delusions about putting on an event, it is not easy. It is
Mm.
not by any means not, or stretch of the imagination easy. It is very, very hard to plan to coordinate an event. So
Last
um
last September, I went up to New Jersey for the Pine Barren Makers Fest that uh, Patrick and Carlina from Pine Barren Pallet Works throw every year, and I was there for 3 days before the show, and I worked harder in those 3 days for like probably 12 to 14 hours a day than I do in a normal day at work, without a doubt. But
yeah,
3 days for me, and they're doing that for months and months and months in advance. So I can't even imagine like what all it takes and what goes into planning all that. So
Yeah, Stone usually puts in about 45 minutes to an hour a day.
that's pretty generous.
Yeah, on a normal day.
Oh, that would
Yeah,
be so nice.
yeah, it is crazy difficult coordinating such a massive event like that. So, but like I was
Yeah.
saying, a lot of people that normally go didn't go this year, and so the attendance was noticeably lower. It was noticeably much lower than it has been in years past, at least in my experience. I think the only one that I didn't go to was the first one. It was 2018, and I wasn't even aware of it. And then I just, opened Instagram one day, saw these pictures from Atlanta. I'm like, what is going on? I didn't even know about this. I felt the FOMO was really strong. I was so sad that I wasn't there. But at the same time, like I didn't at that time have like much of a relationship with the community because I was working for a brand, but I wasn't as engaged with or involved with the community as I am now. So I wanted to be there. I was jealous, but at the same time, I think about it, I'm like, if I had gone, I don't know if it wouldn't feel the same. It wouldn't have felt the same as it does now that I've kind of nurtured those relationships.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I mean. I lost my train of thought completely.
Most of the time, I don't know what I mean. Uh,
I felt
or
like I had a really good something to say there, and then it just completely left me. So
well, maybe it'll come back to you. Maybe it
probably,
won't, which is what normally happens to me. So
yeah,
I just have like what I think in my head, just a flash of like just a total banger, great thing to say, insightful, and then it's gone in just a flash, and it never comes back.
yeah,
Sometimes it comes back. It's rare.
yeah. That's where I'm at right now.
Uh,
Um,
but before that, before Workbench Con, again, Workbench Con, it's usually a Thursday, Friday, Saturday type thing. Registration is toward the end of the day on a Thursday, and then it's just all day going hard Friday and Saturday, and people head home on Sunday. But before that, a sort of a tradition that Stone and I and some of the Carve Co. people and see who else. Cody from Cadence Manufacturing. Kyle's been to one. Um, lot, about a dozen of us, maybe Baker's dozen. We have this tradition every year where a couple days before Workbench Con, we go to our buddy Hamilton Dilbeck's house and just spend a few days there and just filming content and hanging out and catching up before Workbench Con. We call it Hambench Con, and
yeah,
it's I mean, this year especially, I would say is probably was my favorite part of the trip.
it was spectacular, but
Yeah.
I started off on a really bad foot.
Mm.
I get off of the plane in Atlanta. I have a 45-minute Uber ride to. I take that back. Let me back up. Hamilton was not home when I landed. He was at his daughter's, I believe, dance recital. So I made a pit stop. I took a Uber to Carveco and saw them at their hotel for a little bit and hung out with them. And then I went to Hamilton's and I got an Uber from the hotel to Hamilton's. And when I got out of the car, I was so excited because Hamilton was sitting in a lawn chair waiting for me in the driveway. And I got out of the car, got my bags, ran and gave him a big hug. And we walk in the house. And as soon as I set my bags down, I realized I had left my phone in the back seat of the Uber
Ooh.
in a city halfway across the country from where I live on a work trip, and I have absolutely no way to communicate with anyone. Um,
But at
so
least you were at somebody who you know's house, you know?
yes, this is true. I was at Hamilton's house. Hamilton started calling my phone over and over I don't know, I think 14 times was the number, and on the last ring, the guy saw it light up in the back seat, and he ended up turning around, but I didn't know this because he never answered. Me and Hamilton are on the way to Best Buy so I can buy myself a new phone, and his wife, Jana, calls and says, "He's here and he has Stone's phone." Um, Apparently the guy showed back up because he saw it, and he went and was just in the, uh like, shadowy front porch knocking on the door, and she saw him through the glass, almost called 911 because she didn't know who it was. Apparently, no one uses the front door. And long story short, well, I guess it wasn't really that short because I told the whole story. I got my phone back, so that was nice.
Yeah. And that's such a blessing that like he could have just taken that or like he literally could have just tossed it out that he was under no obligation to bring it back to you.
I
So
mean, no, but I was up a creek without a paddle.
yeah. So if you're listening, if you're out there, miracle Uber driver, you did a solid.
I can't
You-
remember his name, but I gave him a $25 tip.
Nice. Hey, it's a lot less than $1,000 phone.
Well, that was my thought.
Yeah. No,
So
that's very nice.
he was he was very kind.
Yes. So we spent a couple days at and the just as a side note, the hospitality that is offered at Hamilton's house. He and his wife Jana just like to the nines. They just do it so well. Like when we show up there, they have a whole finished basement and with separate bedrooms that me and Stone get to sleep in with our own beds. It's not like we're crashing on couches and stuff, and they take the time to like they put out a stack of clean towels for us. They give us like toothbrushes and toothpaste and floss and stuff, just like his little guest pack.
There's
It's
like
amazing.
little cups and mouthwash and
Yeah,
um
they're just they're so generous and so hospitable. So we love. That's my favorite part of every time. Every Workbench Con is a couple days before that we spend doing Hambench Con,
yep, I
and
agree.
we anyway, so during that time, we spend a couple days out in Hamilton's shop there on his property, filming content. And it's all there's no like standard specific thing that we do. It's just kind of whatever we're feeling like doing that day.
Yeah.
And this time we did some contests.
We did some interviews. Carveco did some interviews with everybody individually. We got to show the rotary to everybody from Carveco, and obviously Hamilton was there, and just got to kind of show that off for the first time in person to people. It was good practice for me because I can stand in front of a camera and mess up a million times, but doing it live is a little more nerve wracking. Um, but we showed off the rotary and kind of played with that a little bit, and we didn't really cut much. We didn't cut anything, did we? Other than the one rotary piece.
I mean, yeah, we didn't cut my. It's
It
that's
was
what
more just hanging out and catching up, really.
yeah, like cutting stuff on the CNC. That's what we do. That's what we do all day, every day.
Yep.
This was more. We only get to see each other, once or twice a year. So it's important to get that, just that togetherness time in. Um, and then we just and the Carveco guys. If you don't know, they're from England or Britain or the UK. I never really know what to
England is
call
the
it.
correct term.
England. Okay, they're from England. And so
I
they
got
they come over
corrected when I
here.
was over there, so
You
that's
what?
how I got corrected when I was over there. That's how I know.
Yeah. So Britain. Who calls it Britain? And if they do so, are they doing so incorrectly? Like,
I feel like
does anybody call it that?
Great Britain is more like used historically. I don't feel like anybody actually calls it Great Britain anymore.
Yeah,
It's either you're going to England, which is the country, or you're going to UK, which is the group of
the cluster of
countries.
countries.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that's what I'm doing next month.
Mhm.
So I am super, super excited about that. The The event that I'm going to is called Maker Central, and it's a kind of I guess it would be like the British equivalent of Workbench Con. I don't know.
Not really.
You've been to one? No. Okay, so I
Yeah.
was totally incorrect on that.
No, it's
Just
more of
tell
a
us about it.
show it's more of like a demo show for content creators to show things that they have created. They have some like classes for they have some adult classes, I guess, but mostly like kids classes and things like that. There are a lot of like robotics.
Now, is it children
Type,
teaching the classes or
no,
children
no, no.
attending?
Children
Okay.
just attend. It's like like maybe like a little power carving class, or I think last year they had like a clay class or something like that.
Mhm.
Or like little robotics kits the kids can put together and things like that. Um, but it's geared more towards, I would say, your average consumer rather than your hobbyist woodworker or things like that. Now they do have some tools. Like last year, I know Bessie had a booth, and like Odie's Oil was there, and a couple other smaller things, a couple lumber suppliers. But for the most part, people are showing up because they want to see the things that these content creators have made, or um, meeting the content creators. I know last year, Colin Furs, he's a really big name over in the UK, especially, but he's actually a Onefinity user. He has a few things that he had built. He had one is like a tank almost that he's made and welded out of metal, but he used the Onefinity to cut the treads for that, so that was good, cool to see that. And he had a line out the door for both days, like literally a 6 hour line to wait and get your picture taken with him, which is insane. Um, Last year, the droid builders were there, so they had like R2D2 running around. He came up and bumped me and then ran away one time. That was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, there's just like a ton of little stuff like that that you can do, and just stuff to see. And it's more of a family show, I would say, than a hobby show.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm super excited to meet Colin first. Because he's not only is a Onefinity user, I've watched his content and he just does super cool stuff. He has the most insane like complex. He's got like multiple houses with like a tunnel system between them underground. It just a whole guy's bonkers. But
He's
he's like
bonkers
their
with the bunker.
bonkers with a bunker, yeah. He's everybody's got their like, here in the US, we've got like Jimmy DeResta as our godfather. I would say over there, Colin would be like the highly respected, um, would be the highly respected maker guy. He's their equivalent, maybe different people, different personalities, but he's the big deal over there. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to meet him.
But anyways, that's enough about shows. Let's talk about what's going on. Yesterday, here's something exciting for all you people that have ordered an ATC. Yesterday, we made an announcement. If you purchase an ATC, whether that was with the Ultimate Bundle when we had our Black Friday promotions going on, or separately, you are going to get the Sucket spindle mounted dust boot for free with that order if you've placed the order before April 1st. Sorry, May 1st, not April. Um, April is already passed, so that wouldn't make sense. So, if you're planning on ordering the ATC, go ahead and do that now, and you'll get free dust boot. Um, Other Onefinity news, like Morgan said, he will be at Maker Central next week. Not next week, next month. Man, I'm 0 for 2 right now.
That's all right. I'm like over 100. So
See, Morgan just knows how to make me feel good about myself.
you know what? There's no reason to make anybody feel bad about themselves. There's enough crap in the world to make you feel bad about yourself. Why would your friend contribute to that? You know?
Yeah, yeah, it's a really good point. Okay, I'm gonna try number 3 now. Did I finish number 2?
you were talking about
Oh yes,
dust
I
boot.
didn't finish number 2. Sounds weird saying that.
Ah, I hate it when I can't finish number 2.
No, Morgan will be at Maker Central next month. It's at the NEC in Birmingham. That's the National Exhibition Center, spelled CENTRE, because they're weird over there.
That's
But
a dumb way to
he'll
spell
be
it.
over there for Maker Central. He will be at the Trend Tools booth. So be sure to go check him and the machines out. Maybe not check out. Maybe just go say hi to Morgan. Don't check him out.
You can check me out, but it's going to cost you
Do it from a distance.
10 euros or pounds. They're on pounds.
Pounds. They don't use euros.
Yeah, that's right. They're on pounds.
But yeah, so be sure if you're in that area, go see Morgan. Go check out the Onefinity machines at the Trend booth. Maybe find him bouncing around the show. Maybe you'll just see him on the streets somewhere in Birmingham.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited because 2 of the software companies that we work with, Carveco and Vetric, are both in the area, and I've already spoken with both of them, and I'm going to be splitting my time, outside of the show. The show only runs, during the daytime. So I've got a few days before and a few days after that I'm going to be there, and I'm going to spend some time with Carveco and with Vetric and just see I've never been to England before, so I'm really excited to see it.
I went
And do all the
last year,
English.
and it was a fantastic trip. And I have no doubt that you'll have just as much fun with all those people. Man, excuse me, I've got heartburn this morning. Oh, but
Too early in the day for heartburn.
after that, it is too early for that. We have a show coming up in July. We'll be at AWFS, and we'll have more to come on that. But be sure to stay tuned for the more info on that. If you're planning on going, we will definitely want to see you out there as well. But that's really all that we've got coming up as far as big things go. AWP, another woodshop podcast. If you're familiar with them, they've got their Maker meetup coming up in the middle of May up in Omaha. I'm going to try to make it up for that if I can. But Morgan will be in the UK at that time, so that's
I really would love to go to that show.
yeah.
But
It's
given the opportunity to go to England, I'm taking that because I can
Well,
go to
sure.
Nebraska whenever.
Exactly. So if you guys are in the States, hope to see you at that get together. But that's all for upcoming events as far as Onefinity is concerned. Do we have any other new happenings to share?
Not really. Just just in general, we are, like we talked about at the beginning of the episode, we're just diligently, just kind of all hands on deck, uh, getting orders out the door. Um, we got so many more orders than we were expecting. Again, great problem to have, but there's logistical implications to that. So we are getting those out as quickly as we can. Thank you for your patience, and yeah, it's stay tuned. It's on its way.
Yeah. What he said. What he said. I leaned the wrong way for the screen. Just trying to.
I can't think of anything else really. Just like a quick, check in. We went to Workbench Con. Here's what we're doing next couple months.
Yeah. Now that things are finally slowing down just a tad bit, we will be back on here more regularly. So if you have something you'd like to hear covered or discussed, feel free to reach out to us at podcasts@onefinitycnc.com. You can also leave a comment wherever you're listening to this podcast. And we just appreciate you guys listening and putting up with our shenanigans like this whenever we release these. So
We appreciate you guys at all times, always.
absolutely. A special thank you to our only sponsor, Bits and Bits. If you weren't familiar with Bits and Bits makes some fantastic bits for your CNC router. I have used Bits and Bits now for 5 years since I started. I have grown to love them. They have a lot of different types of bits. So if you have a project you need a bit for, go check them out. They have all sorts of bits, from V bits to end mills to wood bits, metal bits, plastic bits, drag bits.
Yeah.
What other
I've used
bits?
the drag bit on glass before. It's
Yeah.
cool. You can etch
They
glass.
They do have a lot of cool bits. And it is sponsored, yes, but we were using Bits and Bits long before we were ever sponsored by Bits and Bits. So
Or even had a podcast.
exactly. It was just a one of those things that it just worked out because they really are that good. So if you have a need for bits, use code 1F Cutting Edge for 20% off your order at bitsandbits.com. We love them. We think you will too. And we're actually not making any money off of this to tell you that. So yeah.
It's just to give our users an edge.
The cutting edge.
It's just to give our users a cutting edge. But no, and also just, like the CNC isn't your only tool in the shop. Probably. I would imagine that most people have more than just CNC in the shop. So they've got bits that are more than just CNC bits. So
Yeah.
I have a few flush trim bits from Bits and Bits. That's obviously not something that you would use on your CNC. But when you cut something and say you leave an onion skin on it, and you need to get rid of that, flush trim it off, clean it up. My new go-to favorite flush trim bit is from Bits and Bits as well. So they've got all sorts of bits, even if you don't have a CNC, they just make fantastic bits.
One thing
And
I
they
really
make
like,
them right here in the USA. I
they
believe.
do. They're made in Oregon.
Yeah.
And I really like the fact that you can get them coated or non-coated. So a lot of you people don't know, but the coating basically is just going to preserve the life of the bit. It's going to help it stay sharper longer. It's going to make it easier to clean and take care of. And like I said, you have the option. So you can get the less expensive or the more expensive one. You don't have to shell out an arm and a leg for a CNC bit or a router bit or any bit. So check out their bits.
Yeah, they're outstanding.
I'm just
And
trying
just,
to see how many times I can say bits.
Yeah, and well, it's hard because it says just in their name it says bit twice, so it's
Bits. Yes.
All
right. Y'all go check out Bits and Bits. Use Onefinity 1F Cutting Edge for 20% off of your order. And we will see you next time.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all be good. Pickles.
Bye.
Bye.
Gather around, it's time to play. We've got stories for your day. From Onefinity, it's clear to see the finest CNC. It's the Cutting Edge Podcast. Let's take a flight with designs and tools that ignite. From wood to steel, we peel and reveal the art of making done just right. Tips and tricks that elevate craftsmanship that's first rate. Join the fun, we've just begun. The cutting edge awaits. On this journey side by side, hear the stories far and wide. From dream to deed with utmost speed, where passion takes its stride. It's the Cutting Edge Podcast. Let's take a flight with designs and tools that ignite. From wood to steel, we peel and reveal the art of making done just right. Cutting Edge Podcast. Let's take a flight with designs and tools that ignite. From wood to steel, we peel and reveal the art of making done just right.